Disney's billion-dollar marketing and branding strategy. In the realm of entertainment, one name reigns supreme, capturing the hearts and imaginations of millions worldwide. Welcome to the world of Disney, where magic meets marketing and dreams come to life. Disney's success isn't just about storytelling. It's about its unparalleled mastery of marketing and branding. However, when I think of Disney, the first thing that comes to mind is fun, excitement, family-friendly entertainment, and maybe even a little bit of magic. Oh yeah, and people. Lots and lots of people. But though, one thing that never really occurs to me is just how close Disney came to complete and utter failure, and how they were able to turn it all around and save themselves thanks to a clever and also incredibly unlikely marketing and branding campaign. And that's what this video is all about. So let me tell you the story behind one of the most powerful and profitable marketing campaigns that Disney has ever had, as well as 5 important lessons that you can take away from it and immediately apply to your own business, idea, or message. From their theme parks to their merchandise, Disney has built an empire on creating unforgettable experiences for their audience. It all began with a dream. A vision of creating a place where families could escape reality and enter a world of fantasy. Walt Disney's vision laid the foundation for what would become one of the most successful entertainment companies in history. Going way back to 1920, when Walt Disney himself first began his animation career with the Kansas City Film Ad Company in Missouri. Now, even though this is where Walt got his start, it was a couple years later in 1922 when he joined forces with his friend, Ub Iwerks, possibly the world's most interesting name, and they created a company called Laugh-O-Gram Films and started to produce a series of different cartoons around different stories and fairy tales. It was a year later, though in 1923, that Disney first produced Alice in Cartoonland. This was a combination of both animation and live action, and it was originally intended to be a pilot in a whole series of future Alice cartoons. But this is where things started to fall apart. Within only a few weeks of its completion, Disney filed for bankruptcy, packed up all his stuff, left Kansas City, and along with his brother Roy, moved to California to try to make it as a cinematographer. Alice in Cartoonland, however, actually turned out to be a pretty big hit, as more and more orders for more Alice cartoons from different distributors started to roll in. Well, it sort of compelled Disney to reopen his shop in California with his brother Roy. Soon after that, the rest of his team moved from Kansas City to California, and they spent the next 4 years working on these Alice films. Then, 4 years later, 1927, Disney made the strategic move towards an all-cartoon series and created the character Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Within a year, Disney had made 26 of the Oswald cartoons. But Oswald wasn't so lucky, or in this case, Disney wasn't so lucky, because another problem then presented itself. A problem, however, that would eventually lead to Disney's greatest success. Here's what happened. Walt, who was looking to secure another round of funding to produce another year of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoons, went to his distributor and realized some pretty unfortunate news. You see, Walt's distributor had gone behind his back and hired most of his animators out from under him. But to make things worse, upon rereading his contract, Disney realized that he didn't even own the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And so, there was pretty much nothing he could do. Nothing, that is, except create a newer, better, and more appealing version of Oswald. And so, in 1928, with the release of the animated film Steamboat Willie, the world was introduced to Mickey Mouse, one of, if not the most iconic and recognizable cartoon character in all of history. The creation of an iconic mascot and brand ambassador like Mickey Mouse to represent your business is a stroke of genius. But the real business marketing and branding success took place a few years later, during one of the darkest times in economic history, and with an unlikely product that even Walt Disney himself didn't think was going to sell. The year was 1932, and the now 10-year-old Disney company was struggling. It was the Great Depression, and people were out of work and out of money, and well, greatly depressed. At this point, Walt Disney hired a fellow by the name of Herman K. Kamen to act as his licensing agent. Kay's job was to start hiring Mickey to hawk different products. And this is the first lesson from the story. Appreciate, it's cliched, but the reality is, if you want to succeed, you do need to think outside of the box. In this case, looking for other ways to capitalize on the Mickey Mouse brand. The book, Mickey Mouse Reader, describes how when Walt was first presented with the idea to put Mickey Mouse on a watch, well, he responded that it'll never sell. Fortunately, he was wrong. As the book goes on to say, the watch now outsells its nearest children's competitor watch 10-1. And this is lesson number 2. You need to think twice before you take advice. Most people are simply going to say it'll never work, and that is until it does. In this case, even though Walt himself didn't think the idea was going to work, he trusted Kay enough to go through with the idea. And it's a really good thing he did, because it wasn't just children's watches that were selling with Mickey Mouse on them. Even several very prominent and very influential leaders and celebrities in the space started to wear the Mickey Mouse watch. People like Grace Kelly, Sammy Davis Jr., John Lennon, Andy Warhol, Johnny Carson, and even Buzz Aldrin, the famous astronaut who followed Neil Armstrong onto the moon on that fateful day of July 20th, 1969. And this leads me to lesson number 3. Influencer marketing has been around for a very long time, long before the term influencer even existed. This is because the boost in authority and credibility and leveraging of other people's platforms have always been very effective marketing strategies. And so, what started on May 22nd, 1933, when the patent was first filed for the Mickey Mouse watch, a watch, I might add, that was originally sold for $2.98, and whose pin lever movement was made up of surplus from World War I, well, that watch became a cultural icon. And this is lesson number 4. The fact that a little bit of fun goes a long way, and the worst thing that you can be in business is boring. And it turns out that this inexpensive and fun little watch was exactly what the market wanted. And it proved this when, during a single promotion at Macy's, over 11,000 Mickey Mouse watches were sold in a single day. And in only a little over 2 years, they had managed to sell 2.5 million Mickey Mouse watches. In 1957, the 25 millionth Mickey Mouse watch was presented to Walt Disney, who, somewhat interestingly, actually wore a Rolex and not a Mickey Mouse watch. And this is lesson number 5. Establishing a powerful brand can sell pretty much anything. So at this point, these are the 5 things that you might want to do. However, in the digital age, Disney has adapted its marketing strategy to reach audiences online. From social media campaigns to streaming platforms like Disney+, they've embraced new technologies to stay relevant in a rapidly changing world. Disney's ability to adapt and evolve has been key to their success. They understand the audience and know how to engage them across multiple platforms. In the end, Disney's billion-dollar marketing and branding strategy isn't just about selling products or attracting visitors. It's about creating moments of joy, wonder, and nostalgia that last a lifetime. And that, perhaps, is the true magic of Disney. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the enchanting world of Disney. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories of magic and imagination.